Gormago Carhela, Taoiseach, I too want to congratulate you and wish you all the best in your new position, and indeed in business. We need dynamic enterprise department, and while the fund, I'm supporting the fund here today, it won't be enough, obviously, because when you compare it with health, it's minuscule, and because everything from the small self-employed coach owner, and some of them have been supported by 50% funding, the whole contract at the bus Éireann, but the other ones, they didn't get a penny. The over 66s, many of them are self-employed, many of them shopkeepers, many of them bus owners, one self-employed, one man, many of them funeral undertakers, many of them, you name it, wide range. I welcome the fact that the Nagruiga and the barbers were back yesterday, and the queues outside Willie Walsh's in Irishtown and many others was amazing, because that's an art and it's a cultural event as well, and it's an event, and the social distancing was impeccable, and the people taking the bookings and everything else is great. But all the way along, business is what makes us tick. I mean, just take any business. I was just thinking when I walked in and saw how few there were here and the spacious spacious surroundings and the ambience. I did say last week we shouldn't be here unless we had a full Dáil sitting. In a business, if we had this option, an option of A and an option of something like this, we just wouldn't even be considered because we couldn't afford it. We cut our cloth according to measure, and that's what we have to do. Every business, and many self-employed people and their staff, I salute them. They have a great relationship with staff, not like what happened in Debenhams, not what happened in Clonmel Nationals and Tipperary Star, where conglomerates took over and sacked them all and then got COVID payments for the rest of them. Disgusting what's going on with big business, the way they're taking over everything. But the small man or woman, many of them started as a dream, as a young boy after school, many were even in college. Some of them working 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. I had a woman from Roscrea on to me several times. She lost her husband early in the year and was just devastated she couldn't open her shop. So it's her life to open that shop, Gok Madden, and to meet the customers and serve them. There's an interaction and a loyalty. And the customers, all our customers, I should declare I'm a self-employed business person myself, all our customers' loyalty is valued and respected. And it's a two-way street. So there's many areas, and the grants that we're talking about, tying it to rates. Yes, there's huge difficulties here. And the council are doing their best, but the council told me only last week that they haven't got a penny from government to match the funding that they want to give, where they're given the holiday or given the break. And many people in my towns, in Tipperary, from Carrigan-Shire right up to Clonmel, right to Cahir, and indeed Tipperary, Cashel, on to Nina, Templemore, Roscrea, they are getting bills now for renewed rates, or the second mighty in July. And some of them rates were doubled, and some were tripled since last year under the review. They haven't the hope. One time you got something for paying rates. You got a wheelbarrow of salt if there was ice and frost. You got your refuse taken. You got different services from the local authority. Now you get zilch. Zilch. So we need to help them. Look, there's huge areas also the arts, the whole arts industry. It's on its knees. And the whole country music and Irish music. And I love the Céilí and the Rincassette and the Rudy Marchen. The dancing schools, they all need support. They need help. And it's not that they're looking for help. They will come back and they will flourish, and they pay taxes. They pay PRSI, they pay rates, they pay VAT, they pay all the other taxes. And they will do. But they can't at the moment. If you have no money coming in, you can't pay out. And to get them started, so Sakma, Lana Hebra, I worry about the pubs, the small pubs especially, because small shops, will they ever start again? And they want to start, it's their life, but the costs, and the added costs now, the 22 and 23 page, and both Fáilte Ireland are drawing it up. Why they are, I don't know. I'm all for Fáilte Ireland, I'm all for Céad Míle Fáilte. It's Stockson's era and Bleanshaw. We have the staycation this year. Don't even attempt or dream to go abroad. Spend it locally. And I ask the people in the business to be careful and not to raise prices and look after the people and after the Curragh Céile. We're on our own. But we need to have the supports. The hauliers, and Deputy Murphy mentioned it, the cost of the equipment, the excavator, the machine, the plant hire. You look, there's a whole widespread. That's what Ireland is about. And we've been hammered in the last 20 years. With regulation after regulation, not that we're anti-regulation, but a lot of it is unnecessary, and a lot of it is over-policed. We need to turn these bodies, NERA is one of them, into a national support service for self-employed, because we must have the self-employed. OK, we can get all the big conglomerates and the foreign direct investment. I have many in my own county I value and are welcome and are wonderful jobs. Merck is there with 50 years nearly now, and there's Abbott and Boston, you name it, there's a pile of them. Pinewood Healthcare, a local one, Clonmel Healthcare. But we need small businesses, in the rural areas especially, the taxis, you know, as I said, even the clergy need to be supported. Of course they do. They're getting nothing all over this, and they're a very lonely time, and they had to work, and at funerals when families couldn't be there. They need support. And we need to allow the worshippers back to worship as well, because, and you know what I mean, we need, instead of this government, I worry about what the tax they'll have on the hunting and on the horse racing and on the coursing, because they're all businesses of the people. People put their own money into their pocket, money they pay tax on, and buy their box, and build their stable, and have their pony and horse and the tackle and the veterinary and everything else. It's all an industry in rural Ireland. I just wonder, Taoiseach, and I worry about that. No disrespect to you and the Greens, but do they understand what this is all part of our culture and our heritage? And so is the spirit of the Mehel, where we start small, maybe one man business, one woman business, and they grow it. But across the way, the tourism industry, the tour coaches, J.J. Cavan and Tipperary, many smaller ones as well, they bring the tourists, they move them around, they deliver wonderful drivers, wonderful coaches, and wonderful respect, and then they're well received in the hotels. I'm delighted to see, I was in Clonmel yesterday, Hotel Manelli, you've there yourself, Taoiseach, before. I know, once or twice, Care House Hotel, and all the other hostels that opened up, the River House and Cairn, the Lazy Bean, you name them. I'm delighted, but they need to be supported. We all want to respect the social distance and be very careful, be on a quorum or fod. We see what's happening elsewhere, but we need to have meaningful support, tangible support. The banks, Taoiseach, are tarnished. Banks are not working. They might as well be closed. They have a closed sign up because they're not working. Many people had mortgages. Many people had business loans. They've all been pulled. There's some support for the banks. And I saw this morning on Facebook where their quarterly charges are growing. And during the pandemic, they had no customers to deal with, no money to count. It was all cardless, or 90% of it. So I worry. The banks aren't functioning. Without a functioning bank, and you refuse, and nothing in this programme for government for the community banking that we saw in Germany, that we saw in Switzerland. They'd said the banks have you in the cosh. Why you welded them, I don't know. And there's no regulation around them, and the receiver and the whole mucky business is still going on, terrorising business people. So business people are not have their hand out for begging. If they get back and get working, they will repay in spadeful, because they will turn over the money, they will create the jobs, they will pay the VAT and the taxes, pay the rates, insurance, you name it. Insurance wasn't touched either by ye. You're afraid of these big, big is wonderful with ye, and you're afraid of your life of it. Like this place here, the size of it. Big is everything. Small people, the Dinny Bioga, you have no interest in them. Your government, your past government, and I hope it'll change now, but I don't see anything in the programme of government that's telling me it's going to change. So we need just help. Get up off our feet, dust ourselves down, to be able to develop and re-employ again and re-engage. And the costs associated with the COVID, they're too much, because over-the-top regulation and paperwork. There's one thing, Marfuckle score here, look, paperwork and bureaucracy. That's one thing that's mushrooming. If you could turn that into money, we'd be all rich. That is overgone. That must be levelled out and cleaned out. Go on, Marcus.